It was a dark academia broadcast. Tonight's story is a continuation of the book about books and is installment 2. It begins, inevitably, once again at the museum, but it continues at the flat of the young protagonist, Chris Bean. Installment 2. The Reading and the Writing. Segment 1. The Reading. As the two doctors, Dr. Brown and Dr. Cook, left the museum in which they worked together, they continued in light conversation, as was their habit. "What do you think he will make of it?" asked Dr. Cook. "It's difficult to say with specificity. However, I shouldn't wonder that he will fall along the same lines as those who came before him," answered Dr. Brown. "Do you think we have done a bad thing?" asked Dr. Cook. It was perhaps less than compassionate to allow him to take it home. It could weigh heavy upon his mortal mind. "Since when is it the job of wizards to have compassion upon humanity?" replied Dr. Brown. "Then whose job is it?" questioned Dr. Cook. As they walked along, the voices of carolers could be heard in the clear air, for it was Christmas Eve, a fact that the two good doctors took no notice of. As a general rule, they took no notice of anything in the world at large, unless, of course, it was in an effort to continue the facade of being a part of it. For they were, indeed, wizards of a much more ancient time than any of the artifacts which they curated for their work at the museum. "I shouldn't wonder that he is reading it now," said Dr. Brown. "I shouldn't wonder, indeed," said Dr. Cook. "What will you do with yourself this evening at home?" questioned Dr. Brown of Dr. Cook. "I shall be not surprised at all if I end up playing video games." Dr. Brown replied thus: "My good Dr. Cook, I should be not surprised at you, but perhaps I am slightly. I did not expect you to take part in that." "Oh yes," said Dr. Cook, "and you shouldn't be surprised at all. It is perhaps a great joke upon humanity." "What do you mean?" asked Dr. Brown. "Do you remember when Plato was a young and upcoming—" "I do indeed," said Dr. Brown. "He philosophized that there would be a time when humans would go into dark caves and be fascinated by flickering lights upon the wall with all sorts of images. It is a great irony of time and a joke upon humanity that this prophecy has become true. End of Segment 1. Segment 2. The Writing. These are the writings of Christopher Bean. Christmas Day. He said his name was Billy Hallop. I can remember that clearly, although nothing else I can remember with certainty. It is all quite foggy, and this shouldn't bother me at all if I believed the events of last night were a dream. However, I cannot be satisfied with believing it's a dream, although I probably should be. It was hazy and unclear, yet the book that I borrowed last night at the museum is here on my desk, and I feel compelled to write down the words of Billy Hallop before they leave my mind and are lost to me forever. Billy Hallop showed up in my apartment last night, well dressed, looking cool and collected as if he belonged there. And he said to me, "Hello, I'm Billy Hallop. You might best understand my personality as a combination of Franz Kafka, Albert Clumas, and Bob Hope. In fact, if Hope had a child with Sylvia Plath, I would be it." I didn't understand what he was talking about then, nor do I now. But I feel as though if I can write it all down, I might be free of this curiosity that has pirated my brain. Billy Hallop continued speaking to me, and he said to me that I should look into the book that I had borrowed from the museum, which I already had opened in my hands. I replied to him, "The pages are blank." Billy Hallop said to me, "Well, yes, those pages are blank. They are for you to write in. But keep looking. There are other pages that are filled with writing already. It is this story that you must continue. Although I will warn you, it might take all the effort of your faculties to remain sane and unchanged by it, and I shouldn't wonder that it will be a lucky thing if you return the book this century. Remember the state of the one that you got the book from, and I can assure you he was more powerful than you are. I shouldn't wonder that if you look to find my voice at the party in the night, burning bright the fearful symmetry of beauty, then you will find that there are many more things to accomplish on your way to paradise by way of Kensal Green. Billy went on prattling like this, and I couldn't understand one word or two words put together with any sort of certain clarity. Yet I do feel as though I should write it all down. And I must confess that the last thing he said to me was, "May I get you a cup of tea?" And this morning, not only was the book upon my desk, but there was also a hot cup of tea ready, which I do not remember making for myself. I hope that this adventure ends, and it ends amiably, and in a lifetime of tears and laughter. All adventures must come to an end, and this is the end of segment 2, installment 2.